My name is Rose Francois, and I am the author of A Generation Cry, based on the true story of the Haitian Revolution. A Generation Cry is based on the true story of the Haitian Revolution, and it's a millennial movement that's to disrupt systems of injustice. So my first thing is racial inequality. So we have to disrupt the system. It's going to disrupt a lot of things, and people aren't going to be happy. It's not going to be something that's easy. It's not going to be something that we figure out tomorrow or maybe even 10 years from now. But it's something we can do if we, as the next generation, decide to say, hey, I'm actually going to be uncomfortable, be comfortable with being uncomfortable and getting through this, because I don't want my children, my children's children, to continue this situation. Because 200 years has not solved something that we think has been solved. So within my book, I tackle those things and the story of how things came about. So the hero in the story is, his name is Toussaint Louverture, and he is the leader of the Haitian Revolution. The story of the racial inequality begins with how their system was in place in the colony there. And so people of color were against each other because the lighter you were, the better you were, right? That story, I didn't really have to do much. I just told the story in a novel, narrative way where it was fun to read, in my opinion, instead of like a textbook. And so it just spilled out for itself. But in the end, the colorism situation had to be disrupted and be dismantled in order to achieve the first successful slave revolt, which has ever happened in history. And so that happened. And then when we think about the system of oppression with slavery, once people came together, they had to fight, and they realized that there were people that were not like them who were actually in the same situation. Right now, I believe we're in a paradigm shift. I believe that because millennials are the next generation, I think that because millennials are the most diverse group of adults ever in the United States, we have a responsibility to look at where we are and to assess, does this reflect our community? So number one, we're diverse. Absolutely, United States, right? And I don't think that's enough. Something else has to be in play. And for me, that's inclusiveness. What does that look like? Inclusiveness is when you are actively asking someone, what do you think? When you are actively making a vote for someone who doesn't look like you. When you are actively actually alongside this person and having conversations with them. But I think there's more that we need to do. I think we need to have conversations. Conversations about what racism looks like in this country. Conversation about what does inclusiveness look like in the workplace, and diversity not being enough, and how it's going to affect our children and our children's children. And why is it that 200 years after slavery ended in the United States, we still have similar situations happening? It's because we have not confronted the thing. And so I feel like America has turned its back as a whole on things that really matter. And so that's why I'm speaking for the next generation to say, hey, we're the next generation. We have a say about what is actually going to happen in this place. So let's have a conversation, because guess what? We are the first of what we look like. I want millennials to join me in this mindset and being inclusive and kind of peeling back the layers of your own biases, because I think that's where it starts. It starts with you. Once you exude something, other people will follow you. Be the leader. Peel back of your biases. Think about racism as an institution, because it is. And then start today with being inclusive and checking your voice and understanding, and not relying on people to teach you, but you do the research, you do the work, and you figure out what's going on with you and why you think the way you do, and then we can start from there. Because if you don't, no one else will. And everyone has an impact in wherever they are. And so it's important that if you change, you can also empower others to change, because we can't change anyone, but we ourselves can change.